Juliana Bevan, and I've been in the business now for about 3 years. I joined initially just to earn just a little bit of extra money really around my beauty business, and then my first son Ellison was born. And I'm sure there's lots of mums on the call, and you'll all know that that first child is a real game changer. And for me, I really connected with my why. It was literally kind of instant, and forever really quickly became something that could be so much more to me. So I set myself the goal of not returning to work once my maternity leave had finished, put myself on the 5 months to manage a plan, and thanks to all the incredible support from this amazing business that we're a part of, I hit manager within 5 months, and I've never had to return to work since. So I now work forever full time from home, but very flexibly around both my little boys, so Ellison, and I've now got a 1-year-old as well, Frankie. So if we can go on to the next slide, please, babe. So this evening, I'm really lucky because I get to talk you through a fundamental part of your business, and that is project launches. And a project launch is the first thing that your upline is going to encourage you to do. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is because it's an opportunity to showcase just how fabulous our products are. It's also the perfect avenue for your new business owner to learn all about the products from you, their upline. And that initial first launch is going to put money in the pocket of that new business owner. And that's immediately going to instill their confidence and their belief, not only in the products, but in the business opportunity as well. Next slide, please, hun. So within that room, your new business owner is going to have their very first customers and potentially their first team members as well. Now, those that have been in the business a little while, can you remember how exciting that was? Your first order and how much of a buzz you got from it. And when that first person said, yes, I'll join your team, and you're just literally so excited. So, really kind of take yourself back and remember those feelings, because that's what your new FBO is going to be going through. Now, they're also going to be getting more activity booked in off the back of this initial launch. So things like experience packs, one-to-ones, hopefully even more launches. And last but not least, this launch is going to heavily contribute towards your new FBO being 4cc active in that first month. And again, that's going to do wonders for their motivation to go on and then do their 4cc level 1 pin, and also their belief in the business. And as well as that, don't forget now with the new we've got lots of new policies, haven't we, at the moment? So with one of the new policies, it means that that's going to contribute as well to those 2 case credits that you're going to get as their upline. Next slide, please, hun. Oh, sorry. Can we go to the next slide, please, Lauren? Thank you, babe. Oh, I don't know if it's frozen. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
There, got it. Thank you. Sorry. I thought it frozen then. Right, so like with everything in Forever, the key is in the preparation. So you want to be encouraging your new business owner to book at least 2 launches for within that first month. You always want to offer a few dates, because people aren't just automatically going to be able to come to the first date you give them. So you want to offer a couple of dates, so the likelihood is you're going to get more people come in. And ask each guest to bring a friend. The more people you've got there, the merrier. And when you invite people, you want to ask them personally to come along as much as possible. So ask them to come along and support your new venture, ideally face-to-face or picking up the phone. If you don't normally speak to them over the phone, if it's normally a message, then obviously send them a message. Something along the lines of, hi, how are you? What are you doing on, let's say, Friday evening? And then you stop and you wait for their answer. If they're not available, then you go in with your second date. But if they are available, perfect. I'm having a few friends around for a glass of wine as I'm launching some fabulous new projects, and I'd love for you to join us. So you really, really just need to keep it that simple and that informal. Next slide, please, Hen. Sorry, guys, the slides are really slow, aren't they? Going over to the next one. So I'll start talking anyway, just so I'm ready for when the next slide comes up. So another thing that you want to do, which works absolutely brilliantly, is to set up an event on Facebook for the invited guests. And what this is going to do is it's going to build up excitement. So you don't want to do it too far in advance because people are just going to get peed off with it. But about 10 days before is perfect. And then you want to post in there every couple of days. So information about the product, so you're going to start appealing to lots of different people and different products that they may be interested in, and things like goodies that they're going to receive on the night, you know, things that are going to entice them to come along. And this is also going to give you a really, really good opportunity to find out about your FBO's guests, because the more you know about them, the more that you can tailor the launch to suit their individual needs. And then on the day, you want to send them a little message. Again, something really simple, really short. I'm so looking forward to seeing you this evening, and I really appreciate your support. And just that message, I guarantee, will mean that you're going to get more guests there. Next slide, please, babe. So on the night, setting up, so you want to get there nice and early, because the chances are that your new business owner is probably going to be a little bit nervous. So if you can get there a bit early, you know, you're just going to help them to relax and reassure them. And then what you want to do is display your products from the Start Your Journey box. And I like to do it in little stations around the room, because then no matter where someone's sat, quite easily they can kind of reach out and pick up a product. I also take extra projects as well, which I pop in the bathroom, and I bring those along. You know, I don't expect my new FBO to go and buy loads of extra projects on top of their box, but I take along some extras that I can pop around the house and in the bathroom, so people can use them in there as well. And then I take an experience pack, so I've always got an example on show, because as you'll see at a later stage, we'll talk about the experience pack, and we take it for granted. We know what it is, but the guests aren't going to know. They may not understand. They may not be able to visualize in their head what you mean. So it's nice to have that example there so they can actually see it. And then you want to incorporate some aloe refreshments. So why would we not use them? You know, we've got the aloe, let's get it out there. So the aloe blossom tea, don't offer them a normal cup of tea, offer them our tea. You can pop the juice in the Prosecco as well. That's really, really nice. It's just little ways of getting the products out there. And then the key is in the details. So you could have the essential oils burning. You know, people love it when they walk into a room and they can smell something really nice. You'll probably sell some of the essential oils just by burning them. If you're going to talk about the C9, maybe have some before and after pictures, you know, nicely presented, laminated. But again, all those little details are going to make all the difference. Next slide, please. And then on the night, with the actual opening of the launch, I always start with my story. So what Forever has given me and why I'm passionate about Forever. And that immediately raises the vibrations in the room. So you're starting on a high. And then I ask my new FBO to tell their story. So obviously they're not going to have seen any progress in the businesses yet, but what they've seen in Forever, why they've joined, you know, what they see from the opportunity, because you never know who in the room is going to resonate with that. Then I talk about the company background. And then when I'm talking about why our aloe is so special, I take out an aloe vera plant and I cut it open. And that's really, really great for the visuals in the room. They love it, and they can actually, you know, they can see it and they can understand how we grow and how we cultivate our aloe. Next slide, please, Hun. I then mention that I'm looking for new business partners, but at this point, I just plant the seed. So I expand on it later, and I'll share that with you shortly. But I literally just mention it because, again, you know, we know that we're looking for team members, that we want to grow our team, but people in the room may not know that. They may not know that it's network marketing. They may think that we're just selling the products and that's where it stops. So you want to tell them that you're looking for new business partners. I hand out brochures to everyone and prize draw questionnaires. And with the prize draw questionnaires, I ask them to fill them in there and then, and I tell them any products that they're interested in to jot them down on the back of the questionnaires. And then at the end, I come back to it and you'll see what I do with that. But if you don't do that, I just find that come the end of the night, you know, you've gone through quite a lot of products, people often forget, you know, you're going to miss out on sales. So just by doing that simple little thing and asking them to jot down any products that kind of, you know, take their fancy or any questions about products, it means that you can cover everything off. And then I tell them how to pay. So PayPal, bank transfer, cash. If it's not a first launch, maybe you're going to have an iZettle machine or some sort of card machine, just so they know the drill and they know that they can order. And then on the night, so the products. So this is your chance to showcase the products from the Start Your Journey box and really, really shine a light on them. So be excited. Share your testimonials, you know, don't stand there like a robot and reel off, you know, different points about different products. Be excited, tell stories, be real. Remember, facts tell, stories sell. I like to focus on the monthly consumables as well. So for example, the drinking gel, if you get 20 gel drinkers, you're 4cc active. So you'd be silly, particularly this month, not to focus on it because of course we've got the Aloe challenge going on within the company as well. And then Aloe shots, this is a fab way to really kind of put some focus on the drinking gels. So you can use the juiced and you can mix it up a bit and everyone's got to guess the flavour of the shot they've got. It's just a really good way to kind of talk about the drinking gels and all the different benefits that you can get from them. Next slide, please, babe. And then talking about fun and games, have fun with everything, be interactive. You know, you don't want to just be standing there talking to people. You want to play some games. Now, this may not be for everyone. You're going to know if you go into a room and they're not the sort of group that are going to want to play games. But to be honest, most people want to have some fun. There's Aloe Bingo, so you can go onto myfreebingocards.com and you can make up your own bingo cards. It's really cool. So you can put down the different names of all of the products. You can laminate the cards, so you only need to do it once and you can use them over and over again. And then obviously, like with bingo, as you're going through the evening and you're talking about the products, people are crossing them off and it kind of really makes them listen to the names of the products and what you're saying. And then obviously, when someone fills their card up, you've got a winner. The left to right game, so this is kind of like a script. I'm sure you guys have used this before. It's a background to the company and you can have a little prize. You know, you could maybe have an Aloe lips or just a little gift that you've made up, a nice little Hessian bag with some samples in and an Aloe lips. And basically it says the words left and right quite a lot throughout the game. You pass it to the left or to the right and whoever's holding it at the end wins the prize. Guess the number of bee pollen. So you can have this maybe in a glass jar or a photograph of it. And then the balloon game. So the balloon game is a really good one for getting more activity booked in off the back of your launch. So every guest has a balloon and inside the balloon you would have put a slip of paper. They blow the balloon up and then they've got to pop the balloon, but they can't obviously just take a needle and pop it. You know, it's quite funny watching everyone try and pop it using their hands and sitting on it. And the slips of paper can say whatever you want really, but it could say congratulations, you have won a pamper evening for yourself and 5 friends. Congratulations, you have won an Aloe lips. Congratulations, you have won my luxury skincare pamper experience pack. But if you do lots of those, it means that you're going to get cups booked out and more launches booked off the back of just this silly little game. So Jan Rue has a book as well called Let's Party. It's amazing for launches and she's got pages and pages of game ideas in there. So that's a really good one to have a look at if you're a bit stuck for different games to play. And then closing. Sorry guys if you can hear my washing machine, it's on spin and it's going crazy in the background. So the best close. So this is where I go back to the business opportunity. So I say that I'm looking for 3 types of people within the business, and then I expand on that. So I expand on the seed that I planted earlier in the evening. I go through the 3 different types of people that I'm looking for, and then I work the room. So I go around and I suppose I just talk to everyone individually. So I review their prize draw questionnaires, everything that they've written down on the back. This is where I'm kind of answering their questions, really talking about the products that they've written down. So I suppose it's kind of like individual consultations. I offer each guest an experience pack as well. And I get to know them, so I have a little chat with them so that then I can see how the business is going to work for them, and I can introduce the business for them, obviously on behalf of my new FBO, but at this point I'm kind of just, helping them out. And then what I would do is I would book in one-to-ones. Next slide, please, babe. So I collect everyone's orders and all of their payments. I hand out their goodie bags. Sorry guys, just going back to that as well, don't be afraid to ask for the sale as well. So when you're going through the prize draw questionnaires, don't be afraid to say to people, would you like to order that? Would you like 2 of those, or just 1 of them? Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. So collect all the orders in and the payments, hand out the goodie bags. So my goodie bags, I like to pop a few little bits and pieces in. I'm a massive fan of the Forever Life magazine. I absolutely love that. Maybe a mum card, the Why Forever leaflet, business card, some samples, aloe blossom tea bag. That's something nice that's a little bit different. Maybe an aloe to go, an aloe pen. Mix it up. You can put different bits and bobs in there. And then what I do is I have 2 bottles on the table. So 2 bottles of wine or 2 bottles of Prosecco. And I always say, who would like to take a bottle of bubbly home? And of course, everyone in the room throws up their hands. And fabulous. I pull out my diary and I say, brilliant. The first 2 guests to book in their own launch gets to take a bottle home. And you can guarantee that you will never, ever be left with those bottles. So immediately off the back of doing just this 1 launch, you'll have 2 more booked in. And then I talk about the hostess rewards. So this wouldn't necessarily apply for a new FBO doing their first launch, but it's a fabulous incentive for guests that are booking follow-on launches. So for example, a percentage of the sales taken on the evening can be given in credit to the hostess to spend on their order. And that's just going to help to up your total sales. Next slide, please, So then it's all about the follow-up. So perhaps later that evening or the next day, but definitely kind of within 24 hours, I sit down with my new FBO and I make sure that I add all of their guests to their Who Do You Know list. I make sure that they're connected with all of their guests on Facebook, and I make sure that they've got all of their guests added into their customer VIP group. These are really kind of easy things that are easy to miss. So it's really important to make sure that you do this every single launch that you do. And then I just tag them in a thank you post. So I just pop up some photos of the evening, all the fun we've had. I tag in all of the guests, tag in the new FBO. So all of their friends as well can see how much fun we've had. So it's going out to lots of different people. Next slide, please, hun. Sorry, guys, there's loads of slides because we have to put all the kind of points on lots of different slides for QLS. Because we didn't think that the audience would be able to see all the pointers, so that's why there's so many slides. So carrying on with the follow-up, I also follow up with any questions from the launch, so any questions that my new FBO might have, but also if there's any questions on the evening that maybe I didn't know the answer to. So when you first start out, you don't know everything, and someone could ask you a question and you don't know the answer. And don't be afraid of that. Don't worry about that. Just say, do you know what? I'm not 100% sure, but leave it with me and I will get back to you. And you could either kind of quickly pop on one of your pages or message your upline manager. Or if you haven't got time to do that because you're too busy interacting, then you can do it the next day. But make sure that you're always professional and you do always get back and answer those questions. And then I help the new FBO to book in any experience packs and any one-to-ones that they would have got from the prize draw questionnaires. And obviously I would do those initial one-to-ones with them as well. Next slide, please, Hun. So it's important that you don't feel like launches are just for new FBOs. We need to be leading from the front as leaders and as managers. And I looked at my business a couple of months ago, and I saw that we had a lot of new people, new business owners coming into the team, and they were getting amazing case credits from these launches. I mean, kind of, 2, 3, 3.5 case credits, but they were the only ones doing them. I wasn't doing them, not as much as I should have been, and my team weren't doing them. It was just literally these new business owners. And it quickly made me realise that we were missing a trick. We were missing this massive opportunity. So I sat down with one of my managers, Emma, and we set ourselves a challenge. So we decided that during the months of November and December, every single week, we each wanted to get a launch booked in. So that was 2 launches within our team every week, either that we had booked in ourselves or we would go and support a team member to do it. Because I think sometimes people are scared of doing them. Maybe they're intimidated, they're nervous, they feel like they don't know enough about the products. So we said to them, we don't care how far we've got to travel, we don't care when it is, let us know and we will come and we will be by your side and we will do that launch with you. But of course, the question from the team was, well, how are we going to get them booked in? It's all very well when you're new and you can kind of say to people, oh, I've started a new business, come along and support me. But for people that had been in the business, 6 months, a year, 2 years, they were like, how are we going to get all these launches booked in? So I'm going to go through a few ideas now of how we did it, because we got 2 launches booked in every single week during November and December. So it's really, really doable for each of you to do amongst your kind of little teams within the Eagles. So like I've already kind of gone through, aim for 2 more bookings off the back of each launch. So you can use the bottles on the table and the hostess rewards as an incentive for people to book those in. And then what we did, and this was really popular, is we used a Pamper and Prosecco post for women and a similar post, a fitness one, for men. So you can see on there, this is Lisa in my team, and it was just literally something as simple as the next 5 people to comment Prosecco below will win a Pamper and Prosecco evening for themselves and 6 friends. And honestly, you'll have so many people commenting on that. We got loads of launches booked in off the back of that. Next slide, please, babe. And then what you can do is you can use your launches or kind of, pamper parties as raffle prizes. So whenever you go to tabletops, and this was perfect timing because obviously there was loads of tabletops around Christmas time, but there will be again. I'm booking in loads at the moment, and there's lots around kind of the schools and things like that. So have a little look out for them. But quite often when you book a tabletop, they'll say, can you also provide the raffle prize? So rather than putting in products, we put in a gift voucher for a pamper party stroke launch. The PTA in schools as well are always, looking for prizes and doing fundraising things. So again, you could use one of your vouchers for that. Perhaps, local businesses as well. Whenever you kind of see people asking for contributions, prizes, raffles, whatever, you can go in there and you can just make up your own. That's all we did, made up our own little kind of, I suppose it was like a gift voucher, but for a launch. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, but you don't lose anything. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. And then use your prize draw questionnaires at your tabletops as well. So again, we kind of made our PDQs a real focus when we were doing events, when we were doing tabletops. every single person that would come along and talk to us, we'd make sure that we were getting their details down on that PDQ, because of course you've got a box on there asking them if they're interested in hosting a launch party. And then you can use the vouchers that I just mentioned, the ones that we use for raffle prizes. You can use those for birthdays as well. You can pop them in with every customer's first order. So it's like a real treat for them, you know, it makes them feel really special. And you can pop it in with every customer's first experience pack as well. So you could almost say, look, here's an extra thank you to you for trying out the projects for me and for giving me some testimonials. You can also ask your friends to be guinea pigs. This works really well. Well, I say it works really well in the beginning. I think it would work really well at any stage, actually, because we were all doing it in November and December, and lots of us have been in the business a long time. So just asking your friends and family to get their friends and family over, you know, just say, oh, look, I've got some new products. I really just want to try them out, see how they are on different skin types and things like that. And it's surprising how many people will support you. Corporate events are another one that's really, really good. So businesses nowadays, you know, they have to be seen to be looking after their staff. Some kind of big, you know, office blocks, they get in people to do mini kind of 10-minute massages or nail techs to come in and do nails in the lunch break. So if you've got a contact in an office, or if you work in an office, then give it a go, you know, ask the question, can you go in? Can you maybe go in and do a launch? Can you go in and showcase your projects? You've got nothing to lose by asking. And then VIP groups as well. So what I did that worked really well was I kind of set up a launch scenario at home. So literally in my house, as if I was about to do a launch, set everything up. And then I went and did a Facebook Live within my customer VIP group, just to show them all how easy it is to host a launch. Because I think sometimes maybe something that puts people off hosting them is they think, oh, it's going to be a lot of effort. I'm going to have to get this ready and do this and that. And if you can show them, it literally is this easy, that you're going to do everything for them. They don't need to do anything. All they need to do is invite people. You're going to do the rest. They're more inclined to book it in for you. Next slide, please, babe. And be creative. So think of some different themes, you know. I've been talking a lot about launches, because when it's your new FBO, it's a product launch, isn't it? But then once you've been in the business for a while, be creative with it. So think outside the box when it comes to promoting them. So hand and foot spas are really, really popular. A C9 evening kind of fitness, the little black dress worked really well at Christmas. Pamper and Prosecco evenings go down a treat. Come the summer, you can do afternoon tea, strawberries and pins around Wimbledon time. Summer as well, a really good one is wedding prep. You know, so really, really be creative with this. And with all of those different themed ideas, a lovely idea is to present a hostess pack in advance. So just a nice envelope with maybe just a little kind of welcome letter, just personalise it yourself, just telling them how, you know, the evening's going to run. A wish list, you could recreate something like the Christmas wish list that Forever provided for us. Some brochures, so maybe they can hand the brochures out to friends that they invite but can't make it on the evening. So at least then you're not going to miss out on those sales. And also, guys, just an extra there, when I talked earlier about setting up the Facebook group for the invited friends, make sure that they've added in people that can't come as well, because you can kind of have a chat with them, talk about any projects that they're interested in, and maybe then set up a party for them as well. So you don't want to miss out on those sales. And then invitations, if you wanted to add some invitations in that they can actually physically hand out to their friends and family. So that kind of hostess pack, it just adds that extra touch. I just think it's a really nice kind of little special extra. Next slide, please, Hun. So as leaders, I really think we need to be setting an example now. So I saw a huge amount of activity booked in over November and December within our team, just because I made that decision to book in more product launches. The team spirit was absolutely amazing. I did some driving around the country, but it was really nice because I was really kind of, there with my team. I was meeting up with them. We were doing the activity together. It was fun. We had loads of fun doing it. And the momentum really, really started to pick up within the business and within the team. And each time you do a launch, don't forget that you've got a brand new audience in front of you. So one amazing girl in our team, Claire, gained 16 brand new customers purely from product launches in 1 month. 16 new customers. It just blew my mind, and it really, really just made me feel so happy that we'd done the right thing in kind of pushing the product launches. And to me, that speaks volumes. So if you feel like maybe your case credits aren't as high as they could be, or you want to be doing more retail, then I think this is a really, really good place to start. Next slide, please, babe. So the results from us doing our kind of challenge, so from setting ourselves the challenge to get the launches booked in over November and December, we did 18 launches in 8 weeks. And the average case credit per launch was 2 case credits. So obviously sometimes we didn't get as many case credits in. Maybe it was half a case credit or just a few sales, but don't worry about that, because you may not necessarily have the sales initially, but you would have planted a lot of seeds. Maybe you're going to be getting some experience packs booked out. Maybe you're going to book a one-to-one off it, So don't be disheartened or disappointed if you get a launch and you don't do as many sales, because it's always the way, it's a numbers game. The more that you're doing, the more likely you are to have those big ones. And we did have some really big ones where we were kind of pulling in 3. I think the biggest one was about 3.5 case credits, but on average we were looking at about 2 case credits a launch, which is just amazing. So for that 2 hours work as an assistant supervisor, that's £164 profit, and as a manager, that's £216 profit. We also saw an increase in our group case credits by 15%, and that was just over that 8-week period. So grab the opportunity with both hands, really set yourselves exactly the same challenge now over the next 2 months. Fill your diaries with launches, and I promise you'll notice a really significant difference in your business. And I wish you all the very best with all of your launches in 2018.
Yay, thank you so much. Oh my god, my pen is literally steaming with all those. Honestly, I've already took all these notes already, but when you just listen to it back a second time, it all sinks in a little bit more.
Yeah, you just hear different things, don't you?
Yeah. So I loved it last weekend, and I loved it this weekend again too. So thank you so much for that. So I have opened the floor now for questions. We have about 130 people logged in this evening. Let me think. Yeah, I can count. So over 130 people. So I've opened the floor for questions. But I feel like you've gone through it with a really fine tooth comb. So we'll see what questions pop up. But before we do go into those, because Facebook's a little bit delayed when we go through Zoom, I just want you to share a little bit about your business. I know you got to manager within 5 months. Can you share with us a little bit of kind of how that went, what you think your top tips for obviously getting to manager in the first place was?
Yeah, of course. So my story, actually, if I go into it in a bit more detail, is a funny one. So I'd joined about 6 months before and hadn't really done anything with the business. I wasn't consistent. I'd never been full CC active. I kind of did activity on and off, and it was, me and Jules laugh about it now, because I was always having planning meetings with her and, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And I just never actually did. And then the turning point quite literally was when Ellison was born, and all of a sudden I just had this massive emotional connection to my reason why. And in the January, it literally gives me goosebumps now, it was literally the first week of January, and I went to Jules and I said, I need a plan in, and she probably thought, Christ, here we go again. And I was like, no, this time I'm going for it. I said, I've got until June, I need to be manager. My husband was doing an apprenticeship at the time, so the money he was bringing in was just crap, and I needed to be earning good money within 5 months so I didn't have to go back to work. That was, like my huge goal. And I just did the basics. So I just did everything she told me to do religiously every single day without fail. I contacted 5 people, which I'd never done before. I'd never done it consistently. I think that's the key kind of word, was consistently. I got 3 to 4 pups out every single week. I left a paper trail and just put posters up everywhere that I went. Started using my social media, whereas before, and I really sounds silly saying it now, but I'd almost been embarrassed. Like, I remember when I first joined and Jules tagged me in a post and I untagged myself. Can't believe I did that now, but I actually untagged myself, and I was one of those. I put the box underneath my dressing table and it kind of sat there. What else did I do? Project launch. So I did my obviously project launches. I just spoke to everyone, and the momentum just started to pick up. And I literally did the plan that Jules had kind of set out for me almost by the book. So it was kind of 10 case credits in month 1, 20, 30, 50, 70, almost to the day. And my birthday is the 21st of May, so I set myself the 21st of May to hit manager, and I hit it on the 26th of May, so I was a few days out. But it's just about doing the basics and doing it consistently. That's my best advice.
And I think it's having that clear goal with an end date as well, because there's so many people like, oh, I'm pushing for manager, but they don't seem to have that clear focus. Right, I need to do it by then, and obviously a strong connection to that, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm such a believer now. I mean, with all of my team, I've literally set aside almost a whole week to kind of sit down with them now for their goals for 2018 and really, delve deep into them. And I said, we're not going to be doing any more plannings until you come with your goals and with your goal board, your dream board, because I know how that made such a difference in my business, and it just literally just rocketed me forward. So yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a few questions coming through here now. Someone, first of all, has asked me to go back to that slide, if you wondered what I was doing with the slides there. Who was that? Someone asked me. Yep, Emma, there you go. You should be able to see that slide now. Lovely. And okay, so quite a few people are asking what type of pamper parties and products do you take along? So I don't know if you have like different layouts or different templates that we can pinch from you for them to follow or anything, or just kind of go and see how the room feels and take everything with you. What's your routine with that?
Yeah, so we've got scripts. I've got lots of different scripts within my team page, and I'm happy to share those. If I'm honest, I don't use them. I'm quite laid back and quite informal. So when I go, just as you just said, I just kind of get a feel for who's there. I think every launch, every party is really different depending on who the audience is. Yeah. And it's going to be different as well depending on what you're doing. So whether it's a first launch or whether you're doing one of the themed ones. So I kind of just play it by ear. I always kind of do the basics that I've gone through this evening. So my story, the company, going through the projects, playing the games, the business, that's all the same. But I kind of, let's say, for example, I was doing a pamper and a Prosecco evening. When I'm doing the project side of it, we'll maybe be doing, hand spas, foot spas. I'll be making up the aloe mask and passing it around so people can pop that on. If I was doing a little black dress, then I'd be much more kind of, having a clean nine, getting them to try the drinking gel, try the shakes, showing some before and after pictures, adding them all into our fit page so they can see lots of the results. So I think everyone is different depending on what type of party it is and what the audience is as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I have got some slides with different pamper parties. So team, I can share those, and anything extra Rachel has, I'm sure she'll send over to me, so we can share lots of different things. And I think with that, just having lots of product knowledge. So I think when you do get a feel for the room, that product knowledge will just come out, and you'll kind of know what to go on to next, and when to explain a little bit more. I think so it is delving a little bit more into that product knowledge. Okay.
Yeah. And do you know what, that helped as well with, sorry babe, that helped with my team. I think a lot of them were quite nervous because they thought their product knowledge wasn't good enough. But just by having me there with them, and I said to them, I'm not going to do the whole thing for you, I'll do it with you, but I want you to be doing some of it as well. But just having me there as that kind of backup, it just really reassured them, and they were all buzzing by the end. They were so excited because they kind of had that sense of accomplishment, like they'd done it, and they actually realised that they actually knew a lot more than they thought they did.
Yeah, I think that's always the case. They always doubt, but they do actually know more than the audience, at least. So it does come across well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So a lot of people have put, they'd love the fact that you wasn't 4K active for a good 6 months and then something changed. Because I think a lot of people relate to that story. There's a lot of people maybe 17 who not quite connected, not really kind of thought, right, this is my time. And obviously, new year, new kind of mindset for everyone. I think a lot of people connect to that. So a lot of people have been mentioning that on the comments to share that with you and saying, wow, well done, 5 months to manager. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, lots of people say lots of any scripts or anything to help them feel a bit more prepared would be fantastic, which we can share. That's not a problem. Lots of people have got Pamper Party books already, so they're going to use all the tips that you've mentioned this evening. Thank you.
Amazing. Well done, guys.
And yeah, so I'm just going to flick back to that last slide because the income side of it is absolutely huge. And going back to what we said with the dream board and having those goals, sometimes it doesn't have to be manager. It might be that you've got a weekend away coming up. It might be that you've got a little bit of debt you need to pay off. Whatever that goal is, that is when you can start saying, right, this is how we're going to do it. This is how much income I need. This is how many maybe launches I need to do. With all the knowledge now, you're equipped to go away and do as many you need to kind of hit those first initial goals. So I think everyone is pretty much prepared and to crack on with the launches there. I don't think we have any more questions. I'll just have a quick nose there. Just got a Pamper booked in from putting that post. So someone's already put some of the post from.
Oh wow, well done.
So that's Sharon Metcalf. Well done to her. And loads of people are saying thank you so much. It's been absolutely fantastic. And like again, for me, hearing it the second time, it's just made it sink in a lot more. And I think everyone's going to go back and rewatch this now and take a lot from it. We can tell that you are completely a product launch queen, and I think it comes across in your voice as well that you're generally excited to do them. And I think also that will come across to your customers at the launches. So you have to find that love for them, I think, too.
Yeah, definitely. Because my background is in beauty as well, I just love lotions and potions. And I think the more you use the products and the more you believe in them, and you can just be real at your launches then and really kind of, talk about them with excitement. So yeah, it definitely helps to make sure that you're using the products and you're excited about them.
Oh, thank you so much. So thank you for this evening. It's been absolutely fantastic. So for me and the rest of the Eagles team, we are super, super grateful for you to spend some of your Sunday evening. I'm sure things you could have been doing with your evening, but you've come and shared that with us, and we are super, super grateful.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Enjoy the rest of your evening and let me know how I can return this favour. You've been fantastic.
Thank you, babe. Bye, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye, Rach. See you soon. Bye.